Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Day 2 of IAIS 2025 Annual Conference. Please turn your attention to the main screen for a special message from our host country.
Welcome to Albania. Welcome to a land where mountains meet the sea and tradition walks hand in hand with tomorrow. Welcome to a country that grows, builds and believes, where every sunrise brings new ideas and every handshake opens new horizons. Welcome to a culture that never forgets its roots, yet reaches fearlessly toward innovation, from the crafts of yesterday to the technologies of today, from timeless heritage to boundless opportunity. Welcome to a place where connection drives progress, where ideas cross borders and ambition shapes the future. Welcome to Tirana, the heart of a country on the move and the stage for global dialogue and cooperation. Welcome to progress, to partnership, to possibility, to Albania.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Master of Ceremony, Mr. Ali Aslan.
Very good morning, everyone. Prime Minister Rama, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome and good morning to the second day of the IAIS Annual Conference. I hope all of you had a wonderful evening. We've established yesterday that for many of you, this was and is the very first visit to Tirana and Albania. So I hope you made good use of last night and experienced the vibrancy and the power of this beautiful city. Ladies and gentlemen, over 500 participants from over 130 jurisdictions have made it to the 32nd annual conference of the IAIS. And what's probably noteworthy is this is the very first IAIS annual conference taking place in the Balkans. And I think that is a clear signal that, as the video just pointed out, that this region, but Albania specifically, is very much on the move. And of course, this conference could not have been possible without the grand hospitality and the collaboration of the Albanian Financial Supervisory Authority. And so we're extremely grateful to them, to their entire team, for hosting us, for making us feel so welcome, and for making this conference such a success. So without any further ado, let me hand over to kick off the second day to the General Executive Director of the Albanian Financial Supervisory Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Madam Mimosa Kaci.
Your Excellency Prime Minister Rama, distinguished IAIS members, colleagues, and friends. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the second day of the IAIS Annual Conference in Tirana, our lively, colorful, and ever-changing capital. We are grateful for the presence of over 500 participants from more than 130 jurisdictions worldwide. It is a privilege to have with us today the Prime Minister of Albania, and his presence lends particular significance to this special global gathering. This event symbolizes Albania's progress and connection to the global insurance conversation on risk, resilience, and responsibility. Hosting this conference in Tirana is a source of pride for the Albanian Financial Supervisory Authority, a deeply personal honor and professional milestone for me. It represents the culmination of sustained commitment institutional transformation, and a decade-long partnership with the IAIS, built on mutual trust, a journey I've been privileged to share with many of you. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the IAIS leadership and Secretariat for their support and partnership, particularly the Secretary General, Jonathan Dixon, for his great work and the exceptional leadership. Yesterday's sessions offered rich dialogue, perspectives, and a true sense of shared purpose. I'm pleased to say that the momentum continues, with insightful contributions, dynamic exchanges, and a collaborative spirit among supervisors and industry stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, let's reflect, share, and act to impact the societies we serve and systems we defend. I hope you have enjoyed Tirana, Tirana's welcoming spirit and vibrant energy. I want to thank you all for attending and wish you a great event ahead. Now, it's my honor to introduce the statesman whose leadership has profoundly shaped Albania's transformation and international role. Thanks to his vision and commitment to reforms, openness, and dialogue, we confidently host global forums like this one. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Prime Minister of Albania, His Excellency, Mr. Edi Rama.
Good morning, and let me tell you that I was a bit concerned when I entered the room because 9 a.m. and you were all here, which may mean that you didn't have a long night last night, like it happened with the previous conference in the same room where when I came I found no one. But maybe this is also a good sign, because covering risks, you have to sleep always well. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope my outfit shows you how seriously I've taken this speech. And I was very delighted to see again in Tirana the master of this ceremony, Ali Aslan, my dear Turkish friend who happens to be German, and with whom we share joyfully stages, but in this case I have just to speak alone, and I hope I'll not be boring, while trying to cover aspects of your daily struggle in a world that is more and more in risk, and in a time when we find ourselves surrounded by more risks than boundaries. Climate change, cyber threats, and global market fluctuations are challenges that impact all of us, and demand from us innovative and inclusive solutions. The trouble is that the window of meeting global climate targets is closing very, very fast, and the consequences of inaction are already reshaping our economies and imposing very dear prices to our daily lives. In this defining moment, it goes without saying that the insurance industry is in front of a tremendous challenge, and also it's in front of very difficult choices in an effort to turn risk into resilience and shared security. And more, today's risks are deeply interconnected. The threats to our climate resonate with financial uncertainties, while cyber intrusions intertwine with our economic stability and societal harmony. The very connections that foster growth can also heighten our vulnerabilities. So to secure a sustainable future, we must embrace a holistic approach to resilience that considers the myriad of challenges faced by families, businesses, and nations alike. For smaller economies, the consequences of these global risks are amplified. While we confront the same threats as larger nations, we often lack the financial resilience, institutional strength, and insurance coverage necessary to endure them. Recent years have revealed how quickly crises can disrupt our economies, can impact our jobs, can challenge our public services, and can stress our communities. Yet, amidst these trials, there lies a powerful lesson. We may not foresee every calamity, but we can fortify ourselves to endure and to bounce back. Building this resilience calls for a different mindset, a proactive one. In many places, significant coverage gaps still exist. In the case of Albania, for example, despite strides towards better insurance coverage, still many households and small businesses remain without the necessary protection. The toll of disasters like floods, fires, and earthquakes can erase years of hard work, leaving them protected to suffer longer and invest far less in their futures. The path forward is clear. We must broaden our safety net to encompass more individuals, sectors, and types of risk, and ensure that these solutions are within reach for everyone. But of course, as clear as it is, this path is much easier seen and told than built. The bright side of this gloomy picture is that solutions are emerging. Digital platforms are empowering us to extend our reach, particularly to underserved communities, at a fraction of the previous cost. Our ongoing digital evolution aims to create more efficient and accessible markets, including insurance. Educating our people about financial literacy will help them view insurances as an essential part of their walk of life and as an investment in their futures. Innovative insurance strategies offer the promise of resilience for all. Initiatives like microinsurance can help extend coverage to small businesses and low-income individuals, closely linking societal safety with market-oriented solutions. When successful, inclusive insurance not only provides safety, but redefines governmental roles from being mere backstops to proactive supporters fostering readiness and recovery. Together, we can amplify our impact through regional collaboration. Of course, risks are not confined by borders, more and more, less so. Thus, our strategies must not be either. By pooling resources, sharing insights, and aligning policies across nations, we build a stronger response to crisis while making it easier for smaller markets to engage with international insurance and investment. A well-coordinated approach to risk sharing, particularly through government and insurance partnerships, like national catastrophe policies or agriculture-focused reinsurance, results in broadening coverage, lowering premiums, and accelerating recovery processes. The EU acquis on financial services has evolved profoundly. Aligning with it is not simply a technical exercise, but also a platform for building trust, resilience, and inclusion in our own financial system. Progress is already visible, as highlighted in the European Commission recent progress report. The modernization of Albania's insurance supervision and the gradual alignment with EU standards mark an important step toward a safer and more integrated financial system. The modernization efforts in Albania pave the way for a safer, integrated financial network, embedding insurance in our public policies, linking it to climate resilience, agriculture, infrastructure, and social safety nets will tremendously enhance our approach to disaster risk financing. A comprehensive strategy that merges insurance, contingency funds, and budgeting can significantly mitigate fiscal risks from natural catastrophes. Furthermore, steering our financial systems towards greener practices is vital. Developing green tax economies will direct resources to initiatives that bolster environmental risk mitigation and climate adoption, ensuring that today's growth does not compromise our tomorrow's resilience. Dear guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, the challenges before us are immense, but so are the opportunities. Together, through innovation, collaboration, and commitment, we can transform uncertainty into resilience, complexity into strength, and crisis into new opportunities. So it's the world of the brave more and more, and it's a moment when the choice cannot be clear, or let ourselves go forward in the path of inertia and close the eyes before the iceberg will crush us all, or be brave, be creative, and be united to open a new path which will save us all. The interesting thing of the world of today is that no one can save himself or his nation alone. Or all nations will come together to save the humanity, or the humanity will go to hell with all the nations together. This is very simple. But in the meantime, there is something very important to not forget when you are in Tirana. To have a very rational division of time between this dark room and the sun that is waiting for you outside. So please enjoy your conference, but don't forget to enjoy our beautiful city and to take the best out of our very generously brutal hospitality. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much indeed to the Prime Minister Edi Rama, His Excellency. Thank you for being here, for your words of wisdom, very well heeded. And I know you have a very busy agenda. So for him to take the time out to be here with us this morning is truly appreciated. Thank you so much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. I think the second day has started off with a bang. Taking now this momentum and diving into the very first session of the day, which is basically titled